Hello, guys. Welcome to the stream. I'm Pedro, and I'm gonna be here with Dr. Willie Tubbs today to commentate and do the play-by-play for today women's game against the Gulf Coast United team. But just to let you guys know, the game got a little bit delayed due to a storm, and we're gonna be short with you guys. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Sorry again, guys. We had an earlier storm that made the game got delayed, and we're just waiting for the both teams to finish their warm ups, and the game's gonna start. Thank you. Again, guys, I'm sorry for the delay, but it seems like the girls are going back to the dressing room and to get ready for the game. So the game will begin shortly. Thank you. Welcoming, guys. I'm sorry again for the wait. So it turns out it was a delay from one of the refs, but the game's ready to set. I'm here with Dr. Tubbs today, and we're gonna be here, and let's hope it's a good game. For the Gulf Coast United team, we don't have their starting lineup, but we have the rosters. So name number 1 is Kaylee Crossling, number 2 Carly Blake, number 3 Dylan Biancamono, number 4 Aisha Gale, number 5 Jolie Hamilton, number 6 Chloe Ezel, number 7 Avery Slaughter, number 8 Gia Incarpera, number 9 Kieran Goodman, number 10 Miley Levens, number 11 Josie Smith, number 12 Kerrigan Ezel, number 13 Chloe Brock, number 14 Grace Morovitsky, number 15 Haley Rowland, number 16 Jury Minger, and number 17 Jennifer Lopez. Shortly, Dr. Tom is going to come to you guys with our roster, our reserves, and our starting lineup.
Do you want to go and run through our reserves, or you don't have them?
The
I've
reserves
already announced them. But
14,
yeah,
just for the stream.
I will.
Already displayed them.
Okay, very good. They can still hear the starting lineup here in a moment.
Yeah.
It is a little bit weird not having a definitive go time. Fans, we apologize for that. The sound equipment upstairs decided to update on us right as we got ready to begin the match. Thanks to our officials for getting us started. Oh, they're hearing us.
Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear the announcer from the PA?
No,
No? Just kidding. Okay.
it's down anyway.
What is going on?
Am I hot on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, fans. Willie Tubbs here with a play-by-play, joined by Pedro on commentary for this afternoon's matchup between Gulf Coast United and Pensacola FC. I'm going to close this window so the fans' auxiliary sounds don't get on this live mic. Should be a good afternoon for a match. Slightly overcast, but no one's going to complain about a little cloud cover in Florida in June. Pedro's already given you the Gulf Coast United team. I'll quickly run through the starting lineup and reserves for Pensacola FC. Pensacola FC, coached by Chandler Castleman, excuse me. Entered today's match second in division, but with games in hand, record of 5-0-1. Your starters in goal will be number 99, Carla Guzman Ortiz, 14, Evie Paget, 29, Melina Descartes, 36, Bella Lebovic, 5, AJ Mayock, 6, Laney Farabaugh, 9, Ayla Erdigan, 16, Rainey Toulson, 24, Zavana Lebovic, 25, Faith Johnston, and 32, Emily Dirksen. Your reserves will be 13 Sydney White, 17 Roxy Fowler, 18 Delaney Daly, 21 Lindsay Gill, 27 Amelia Jacobs, and 34 Katya May.
I see a
Gulf Coast
change.
United, of course, a 3-5-2 record, fourth in division. Looks like Pensacola will start us off, waiting for the opening
Yeah.
whistle. And there it is. We're
I s-
underway at Ashton Brosnaham Field.
I see a change. I see that Amelia Jacobs started the game, number 27, instead of the number 32, maybe. I can't see
Okay.
who it was.
That is good call. Emily, I know Emily goes to UWF, so all of the Argos I can spot them by face. So good job on that. Possession early by Pensacola FC. That's Roxy Fowler, also a late switch to starter, originally listed as a reserve. Ball given away. Gulf Coast United has it. But number 5, whose name is not listed on my roster, has gotten the ball back. Here we go.
And what a ball from Amelia
25.
Jacobs.
Faith
can s-
Johnston with put that on goal.
We can see that the Pelicans started as a 4-4-2 with Amelia Jacobs and Faith Johnson up front. We can
Keeper.
complain on the Pelicans because we had the best scoring team with a goal difference of 22 and the second best one with only 5.
Yeah, that's 17 more better on goal differential. 42 total goals scored this year. Aggressive attack as usual by the Pelicans. Lebovic gets her players set, feeds it in. Gulf Coast United was ready for it. There's Descartes with a header. Paget now has it on the right side. Pensacola FC loves to attack down those outside lanes. Paget again, ball out to touch. Possession stays with Pensacola.
And we can see the entire Gulf Coast United team in the back only have their number 22 up front. So their entire team is defending right now, hoping they can get some counterattacks.
Anytime you have a high-scoring team like this, that's going to be the natural tactic is going to be to bunch up in the middle, play the low block, try to limit those scoring opportunities. There's a nice ball in. Header goes wanting. Goal kick for Gulf Coast United. That's 2 shots already. Of course, just 1 on goal. Not 2.5 minutes in. So far, most of the action has been near the Gulf Coast United goal. Here's the goal kick. I apologize for not knowing everyone's name for Gulf Coast United. I'm working this out. Ball out to touch. Well, no, it didn't go out. It bounced back in, but Descartes was ready for it. Sends it to Lebovic. Lebovic puts the ball down to Gulf Coast United third. It's ricocheting about. There's number 5, who I apologize for not having her name written down. We'll work out who that is eventually.
It's AJ.
AJ Mack, excuse me. Thank you. Ball out. It's going to be another goal kick. Thanks to everyone who stuck with us through that rain delay. A little bit of weather, a little bit of getting everyone squared away. It's summer on the Gulf Coast. We're not going to let that bother us. Here comes the goal kick. Still 0-0. Early going.
It's
That's
a hot day. It's
controlled.
important for the Pensacola FC to keep passing the ball so can get the other team tired and then finally use that advantage for us.
Yes, that's one thing I learned when I worked landscaping. You like it when it rains, but then you don't like it an hour after when it gets hot and humid. It's like an offside. Pensacola got a little too enthusiastic in their attack. Still keeping the pressure up. Ball skirted away from the Gulf Coast United player. She gathers it. Big run by Gulf Coast United. It's going to go out to a corner kick. First corner kick of the match. And it's going to be to Gulf Coast United. See what they do setting up.
Yeah. Corner kick. You could see their number 22 was alone because the formation, defensive formation, she was by herself. There was no her to pass. So at least she got a corner kick for their team.
Yeah, 22 showed some good speed. She's one of the players whose name I don't have from Gulf Coast United. We'll work her out as well. Here's the corner kick offering. It's in. It's the outside of the net, so it'll be a goal kick for the Pelicans. Carla Guzman Ortiz gets her players where she wants them. They're going to set this up from the back end. There's Descartes. Out to Daly. Gulf Coast United, that's Carly Blake with the ball. Wearing a protective headgear, which I'd be wearing if I had to deal with a soccer ball coming at my face too. There's Blake, sends it, but to no one in particular. Guzman Ortiz gathers it in with her feet and then sends it to the outside. I believe that's Paget with the ball again. Pensacola loves that right lane. And why wouldn't you when you score 42 goals doing it that way? Keep going. Ball to number 22 there. Got Descartes in either the hand or the belly, but it hurt regardless. Obviously the waist.
Yeah, we can see their way they play is through balls. They don't try to pass too much. They don't try to control as much. They try to get over it with and get to the goal as soon as possible. They're the team. While the Pelicans, they have more control of the ball. They try to pass more, create more plays. And we can see that the game's gonna be probably like that. They're trying to counterattack, and we try to control the game and get to the goal, closer to the goal as much as possible before we score.
Jacobs sent that through the middle. It ricochets out to Descartes, but there was a foul in that scrum that had materialized with about 5 different people going for the ball. I think I've been to probably 4 matches for the senior women this year, and every time that's the tactic that everyone's trying to employ against them is to really just cause a lot of personnel to be in front of their own goal and then hope for a nice runner. But speaking of runners, here comes one. Doesn't quite materialize for the Pelicans, but the ball remains down nearer the Gulf Coast goal. Throw in forthcoming for Gulf Coast United. Up the line, Descartes easily wins that challenge. That is the problem when you run into and you keep 9 people on your half. You only have 1 person against 4 on the other end.
Yeah, exactly.
And it becomes a matter of Pensacola FC just possessing and nibbling away until finally a ball goes in. And that's going to be a foul committed by the Gulf Coast United player. Free kick. Looks like Zavana Lebovic will be one of the 2 players down there, Descartes the other. Both showing some interest in this kick. It looks like Descartes will take it. Lebovic also there. It will be Descartes. Sends it in right at the keeper.
And that's
your first goal off the rebound.
Or number 23.
23.
Is that 23?
I have to wait until he's turned around. Thank you for the update. The house scoreboard had to be updated. Kindly old Willie Tubbs is having trouble finding that with his finger. But that's your first goal of the match. 1-0 at about the 8.5-minute mark for the Pelicans.
It's a good kick by Melinda.
Yes, Descartes sent a howler right at the keeper. It bounced off and found the foot of the outside attacker for Pensacola FC, who I believe is number 23. And if that's the truth,
We don't have her now.
Don't have her name, but we'll figure this out in a moment. I think that was probably Faith Johnston, actually, now that I think about it.
Nah, it was number 23. I don't know if she's the.
Oh. It was maybe
I was number 13.
13, not 23. That was Sydney White
Sydney
with the big
White.
goal. Just give us a moment. We'll work this out. The substitute play-by-play people.
I want to shout out to Justin, which is not here today, but hopefully he's proud of us for trying our best here.
That's right. That's right. Justin Whitkin, usually your play-by-play and color commentator, all wrapped in one. Out today, but Pedro and I, this is having a good time. As we wait for a throw in here, just over 10 minutes into the match, Gulf Coast United is down, trying to cheat her way up here, across the halfway mark. There's a throw. Getting a few more people up in an attacking position for Gulf Coast United. There was a foul there. Descartes takes it quickly. Mayock has the ball. Down to Johnston. Down to Lebovic. Lebovic through.
And
There's your second goal. Lebovic with the assist to Mayock. Give and go and give it right back. A.J. Mayock with the goal. Beautiful pass from Mayock to Lebovic. Number 24, that's Zavana Lebovic. We have two Lebovics. You have to remember we have Bella and Zavana. It was Zavana who had it, gave it right back to Mayock, finds the back of the net. 2-0 early goings here. And already you're seeing substitutions by Gulf Coast United.
And like I said, the Pensacola is controlling the ball, trying to make plays, and that's how we got to that. Nice play by Lebovic, which is sent a perfect through ball to our number 5, AJ Mayock, to score the nice goal. Could see that the other team is also kind of in a bad shape. Whatever the coach planned went through the sink, and now we had to do some substitutions to see if he can try to get at least closer to.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a well-laid plan, and then you're down 2-0 before we're even halfway through the first half.
Nothing worse than an early goal, but 2 goals even worse.
Now, Justin Whitkin will tell you the most dangerous lead in soccer is 2-0. So right now we can't. Pensacola FC has to keep that intensity up, just enough to. You start feeling a little too comfortable, getting a little too cavalier if you're at 2-0 lead sometimes. 44 goals scored now. You're tracking it home. And goal differential is now plus 24 instead of plus 22. I feel like we're having a... If this continues, it's going to get up even higher. And Pensacola FC again on the attack. Johnston was offside by several yards, I would say. I think Gulf Coast United's trying everything they can to just keep doubling back and trying to get Pensacola FC offside, and it worked that time. Here comes the free kick by Gulf Coast United. Toulson kicks that out of bounds. Gulf Coast United maintains possession or retains possession. Hard throw in, nearly lost the ball, then they do. Guzman Ortiz gathers at her feet. A little pressure from Gulf Coast United's number 9, Kieran Goodman. Guzman Ortiz was equal to it. So Pedro, from a gamesmanship standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, when you're up 2-0 and things are going this well, how do you keep yourself in the game?
You try to control and have focus. You try not to get it in your head that you're losing 2-0, and try to at least get it together with your team. Try to play better. start doing what you guys haven't started yet,
Mhm.
and hope that the other team doesn't get hyped by those 2 goals and score more.
Right. And if you're the team that's ahead 2-0, that's another challenge to not get too complacent.
Yeah,
And what do you tell yourself when everything's going right
you
so that you
try
don't relax?
you try not to relax. Like I said, you try to score as much goals as possible, and that's what we keep doing the entire season. That's why we have 42 goals in like not over than 10 games, and that's why we gotta keep going.
Oh, just barely offside that time by Zvana Lebovic. It's something I've noticed when the team has superior athleticism, and with all humility, Pensacola FC appears to, where some substitutions being made. It gets easier for them to drift offside or even appear to be drifting offside because they're outrunning the referee and the defender. Here's the free kick from Gulf Coast United. Oh, there's a runner. Dangerous moment. Goodman gets through.
That's a good protection from the keeper. I
Yeah.
gotta say it was a little bit courageous, but she got it all good.
Yeah, that was that number 9 there, Kieran Goodman, just came flying down the left-hand side of the pitch and found herself in a one-on-one battle with Guzman Ortiz, who bodied her off the ball and just let it trickle out for a goal kick. Roxy Fowler sends it to Descartes. Descartes sends it ahead
And we see that even though they
to
have
White.
4 people in this career, she has the patience to don't get scared and try to good ball.
Yes.
So that's the thing about this career. I think she is the different person of this team. She's the CDM that paused the game so that their team can breathe and organize so she can find the perfect ball. She's very different than what she's in person. Last game she was here commentating here with us at the press box. She's very energetic and everything, but whenever she's in the game, she's very calm and very patient.
One of my all-time favorite soccer coaches. He's the head women's coach at Evangel University up in Missouri. Bruce Deaton used to say, "It's not about possession; it's about possession with a purpose." And
Yes.
Descartes brings that in abundance. There's another attacking opportunity for Pensacola. That's headed away by Salter from Gulf Coast United. Lebovic collides with Goodman, and then Daly just came in and swiped that ball. We're back on the attack. There's Faith Johnston on the outside, left side. Big move. Fired it. Somebody got a cleat on it. Still in danger area for Pensacola. Johnston sends it. They're just bunching up 5 and 6 at a time here. They're making a wall, even without a free kick. Good defense by Gulf Coast United, though. That's what you've got to do. Descartes with a big move. Sets up another opportunity. Possessing, as you mentioned, Pedro, she's setting it up, making sure that everybody's where they need to be.
Yeah, she's not running to release the ball. You see, she waits and she looks for like here's gonna be a good pass. No, the other team you're looking at, they're gonna get the ball and they're gonna try to release as fast as possible. That's the difference between the Pelicans today and the Gulf United.
Yeah. Back on that right side, Bella Lebovic, West Florida soccer player. Up.
That was a good ball by Lebovic. Good.
That was Amelia Jacobs with that one. Had the shot, but it was sent out. Still possessed. There's Paget. Ball over to... Oh, back to Gulf Coast United to no one. There's Lebovic again. But I think that's going to drift over... Excuse me. To Paget again. Paget sends it back out to Lebovic. Gulf Coast United's intensity is really picking up now on defense. They're getting a little bit closer, challenging more balls, trying to get a boot on it. And they were rewarded there because the ball went off a Pensacola player. Throw into Gulf Coast United.
Yeah, we could see that the 2 changes that the coach of the Gulf United coach made really impact on the team. At least they're trying more. They're trying to pass a little more, but still they're releasing the ball too quick, and the Pelicans are just taking advantage of that. They're not letting them play, not having them have space, which is very good for us.
Yeah, everything's coming up Pensacola right now. Paget got a little too aggressive there and got a forearm in the back of the Gulf Coast player, so a foul and a free kick. Though nothing unsportsmanlike, it's just a simple foul. We approach the 20-minute mark of the first half. Just joining us, 2-0, Pensacola FC.
Ooh.
Most of this match has been played on the other end of the field from where we're at now, which is closer to the Gulf Coast United goal. And that's going to be a throw-in to Daly and the Pelicans. Finds Descarey. Descarey had Faith Johnston down the sideline, but Jewel Hamilton of Gulf Coast United snuck in there and kicked the ball out of bounds. And brief pause for 2 more subs. Coach Castleman content to let his starting 11 ride as they are. Can't say that I blame him when you score 2 goals that quickly.
I think the team is playing good. The other team is kind of lost on the game right now. So I think I would stick with the team. If someone feels something like injury, I'll probably take it off for a little bit, try to rest. But for now, I would keep the team. We're doing good. We're changing passes, so I'll keep as it is.
No need to start tinkering with something when you're scoring 44 goals on the season in 7 matches. So, as Descarey dribbles through the defender, it's number 9, Goodman again. The ball goes out to Bela Lebovic. Amelia Jacobs got a header. Now she's repossesses the ball, sends it in the middle, looking for Jacobs.
Ooh, another goal by AJ.
Mayock, excuse me. Second goal of the match for AJ Mayock makes it 3-0 at the 21-minute mark, just about 21 minutes on the nose.
And the Pelicans keep going. We see the play started by Melina giving the ball to Bella, which we see through all the UWF games that she's really good, going those long balls, those through balls. Then the ball went to Amelia Jacobs, she was strong, was able to turn and give the perfect ball to AJ Mayock, which was able to score again.
Very productive day for Mayock so far. Gulf Coast United loses that one out of bounds. It'll be a throw in. Delaney Daly jogs over. No need to be in a rush when you're up 3-0.
No rush. Now try to control the ball, pass around, try to get the other team tired, and if we can, score a little more.
We were talking about this earlier. The cloud cover is starting to part. Now that humidity is going to really ratchet up as that condensation starts getting back in the atmosphere and the heat starts blazing as we are known to do here in the Panhandle. Daly with the ball. Has several options. She chooses the middle.
Took a little long to give that ball. We had Sydney White here. No, we had Faith Johnson here on the left. She took a little long to have the decision and made the wrong pass.
That's one thing about playing high level any sport, but definitely in soccer, openings and aren't there for very long. You gotta strike when the iron is hot, as they say.
Sometimes you have a millisecond, a second to think about it, and you gotta make that play. That's why the high levels, they need those players that quick think, and make those plays.
Yeah, that's something. I come from a background in the American version of football and also basketball. In both of those sports, as not really a shot, but a bouncer goes back to Guzman Ortiz. She easily gathers that. But Pedro, one of the statements that you hear in basketball and football is open is not open when you get to this level. What you think is open is no longer open.
No.
And so I have learned over my time watching lots and lots of soccer that the same applies when you get to the highest levels. You might think that the person you're passing through is open, but they are not.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a moment away from being very much marked.
Yeah, of course, in soccer you see some players that even if they're not that open, like players like Messi, Neymar, Lamine, they find a way to pass through the defenders, and that's why you gotta know the team. You gotta know your players, who can do what, and maybe it was a decision that or midfield made, but now I think they know each other very well and the chemistry is very good. 6 games, 5 wins and 1 draw, which is very good for the Pelicans for this season so far.
Well on their way to another 3 points here, although a lot of soccer to be played at the minute mark approaches here in the first half. There's a nice free kick by Gulf Coast United's Carly Blake. Got it right down there into a threatening position. But the Pelicans were equal to it. Here's Descartes again, controlling the midfield as she has done expertly all match and indeed all season. Finds Mayock. Mayock tries the middle right side. Ball went out to Sydney White. White sends it in the middle. Jacobs was battling for it, and it dribbles out out of the possession of Pensacola FC. And now Gulf Coast United with 3 versus 6, so the numbers are not in their favor. Now it's 2 versus 6. They're just trying for a runner. As you mentioned, that's their main tactic right now. They're not really trying to attack in the traditional sense.
And Coach Castleman made that defense line very, very good. They know what they're supposed to be, and that's why we don't see those through balls from the opposite team working. Everyone got to be in their position, and that's what our team is doing.
It's a different, although some of the players on Pensacola FC are also collegiate athletes at the University of West Florida, which is coached by Joe Bartlinski for the last several decades.
True ball, maybe for a hat trick. Oh.
I was telling my story, and Mayock almost had her hat trick. And here comes Paget. Sends that one up in the air. A little too much on it, over the top of the goal. I believe that's going to be our first half hydration break. But I was going to say, while we have that break, now I can tell my story and not worry about missing any key action. The fast attacking Pensacola Pelicans. Coach Bartlinski, who's been the women's soccer coach at University of West Florida for goodness knows how long, several decades now. Very well known for his defensive approach, where it's just so hard to get an easy run on them. He's got people sweeping in the back. He's got good keepers. And everyone knows what they're supposed to do in that back four, which makes it just a nightmare when you're dealing with athleticism on the offensive side, discipline and athleticism on the defensive side.
Yeah.
That's why he wins 90% of his matches.
And our captain, Bella Lubovic, she played 4 years for our Argus.
Yes.
But this last year, she was assistant coach. So not only she knows how the game works, and she also knows the tactics and everything. So she's a very good leadership in this team. And we can see that by the defense side. We got scored like 16 times. No, we got, how many goals we got scored by? 1 this entire season? Is that right? So we got scored once in this entire season, which we can see the good work by Coach Castleman and the defense lineup.
I guess that's right.
I guess that's right.
I guess that's what that means. Yeah. Goals against.
Goals
1.
against 1. Yeah, goals for 44 at present. No, 45. We had one since the last time I checked. We're at 45 goals scored on the season. So
That's crazy. Yep.
We now see at the World Cup that this hydration break not only is good for the players to hydrate themselves, but also for coaches to change something or to give some instructions, which is very important because sometimes the team is not doing really good those first 20 minutes, and after those hydration break, they come back better. The Brazil game was like that. Brazil was being dragged out by Morocco's. It was ugly. Brazil wasn't playing any good, and after the hydration break, the coach basically changed the formation, changed the players a little bit, their functions, and Brazil started playing better where they found the goal. So in this World Cup, I was able to see that a lot of this hydration breaks is more like a tactical break, like it is in basketball and in football, which is there's 4 quarters, and the coach is able to change their players and their functions. So.
curious, because I did not grow up. What do the soccer purists think about the hydration breaks now? Are they for it or against it?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a soccer guy. I always watch soccer. I don't really like it. I was glad at the Brazil game because I'm Brazilian. I was glad that the hydration break happened, but I'm kind of against. Like yesterday game was Japan. It was like 11 p.m. at Pensacola time, so probably like 11 at Mexico too. It was night. It wasn't hot at all, and they also had the hydration break, which it wasn't needed. I get it why the games at 12 they have the hydration break, but I'm kind of against it.
Spoken like a true blue lifelong fan. That's how That's how all sports purists are. If you ask anybody who's a baseball fan what should be changed, they say nothing. Ball ricocheted in there by Amelia Jacobs. Went off of a player from Gulf Coast United, but the keeper for Gulf Coast was able to gather it in. Set up an attacking opportunity here, but there's Bella Lebovic, just sneaks right in, gets the ball away, sends it back to the other half of the pitch. Chloe Ezel with the ball now for Gulf Coast United. Kerrigan Ezel gets it. Number 22, whose name I do not have, and I apologize. Aisha Gale sends that out to touch. Pensacola will take over.
Yeah, we see Lindsay Gill came in.
Yes,
also
Lindsay Gill.
another Argo player. More chemistry for the defense line.
Gill had the throw in there. There's Bella Lebovic. There's that always popular right side for Pensacola FC.
We also don't have it today, but we also on the roster we have Jillian Thompson, which also a Argo fan. She plays at the right side of the. She's a right back, which is also very good. She's very helpful at the attacking side.
Gill sends that through.
Ooh.
I think she was offside, and we were offside anyway. Jacobs just barely offside. But we take the referee's words here at Pensacola FC. We don't complain. Or I don't complain. Here comes the kick from Gulf Coast. Can't quite see that player's number. As soon as I see it, I'll tell you who it was. That was meager with the kick. Ezel takes it to the right side. Descartes in pursuit.
Oh,
Takes the ball away. Shields are off. Possession goes right back to Pensacola FC. Here's
What a
Johnston
kill.
down the left side.
good fight.
Gets it inside. That almost another goal there. Keeper was able to get a hand on it. Ball out for a throw in for Pensacola. Wonderful move. Cut the ball in by Faith Johnston.
Oh, we can see some changes right now.
A few substitutions coming in
Leaving
now.
24 and 27.
Yeah.
So
See who we have coming in
Lebovic and Amelia Jacobs are leaving the field right now. And number 16 and number
now. It's Rainey Toulson is number 16 and,
And number
number
six.
6.
Laney.
Fireball
That's it.
have joined us in the match. They were originally listed as starters, but they were did not actually start. I'm glad that the house microphone was not functioning because I would have listed several people who did not actually start the match.
And we see that those changes are mostly for the weather, which is very hot right now, and it's good to keep the energy up so the other team doesn't take advantage of that and probably score a goal. So we changed that because our players were doing good, but it's a tactical thing, and now we got a penalty kick to get the score even higher.
Yeah, that was an attacking opportunity for Pensacola FC and got absolutely tackled, and not in the correct way. It'll be Faith Johnston, who had been working the left side. She was over on the right side there. She has the freedom to float around. She was getting ready to have an uncontested shot at goal to begin with, so I guess the tackle becomes a moot point. So instead of doing it 30 seconds ago, we'll do it now. Johnston with the PK opportunity. Here's the approach, the kick,
Ooh,
and just
nice shot.
pokes it right in for a 4-0 lead. Make it 46 goals on the season for the Pelicans.
And we see Faith Johnson not as a fixed striker, which just stays close to the area. We saw earlier she was more to the left, trying to play as a winger sometimes, and now she got that PK on the right side. So it's important, that movement, to confuse the defense line of the opposing team.
That's funny. In my career, prior to coming to Pensacola, it's been a long time ago, a decade ago, I was at Southern Miss, and the soccer coach there, actually, he's at West Florida now, Coach Mohamed Ozara. He used to make his players, watch game film from
Really?
various Premier Leagues around the globe, but he would always not let them pay attention to the super duper stars like Messi and Ronaldo. He says because they don't actually they're not being told to do anything. They're
No,
just given
no,
the freedom.
there are players that basically they can do whatever they want. You see
Yes.
Messi, basically the other players play for him.
Correct. And so usually he would have his players watching Barcelona or someone like that. He goes, "Don't watch him. Watch."
No, Messi and Ronaldo are players that are no example for anyone because they're uniques. They're gonna be 1 in 5 billion people, so
Right.
they're no
Better to watch
they're no
someone who has to
examples,
actually really pay attention to what they're doing
right?
and play within a structure.
Try to have someone as example. You can have like Cristiano's discipline and example, but the way he plays, no, Messi even less. He's just like from another world.
Messi just goes all over the pitch. You'll
And
see him everywhere.
And he plays tomorrow. Has a chance to become the actual the player that scored the most goals in the World Cups.
Wow.
So he's
was-
tied now with Mirolav's close with 16 goals, and not far behind is Mbappe with like 13 goals. 13 or 14.
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
While we're talking, that was White with a long attempt. Shot on goal. Keeper had to leap to get it, but she did for Gulf Coast United. Mayock possesses that. I believe we had an offside, but no, Faith Johnson just outran her person. She's back on the right
Ooh.
side. Another two great moves. Sends that to Toulson. Toulson wasn't quite there. Another good attempt by Mayock. Looking for that hat trick.
Another subs for the
Three
Pensacola.
subs coming in. I see Emily Dirksen for sure. I recognize her because she's a West Florida player.
Katja May also coming in.
Katja May and our third person.
We see Sine White coming out right now. Faith Johnson after the goal coming out, and AJ Mayock also leaving the field. Can't ask more for them. He took out basically all the players that scored, and now try to give them a little rest for the second half.
They move Rainey Toulson up to midfield. She was playing an attacking position. Katja May, Emily Dirksen, and I apologize for not knowing who the other player is. When she turns around, I'll tell you. Descartes again. Sends it over an offside.
That's offside.
Barely offside by Pensacola FC. Still about 10 minutes left in the half. 8 minutes and plus some stoppage time. Not a whole lot of stoppage time in this first half, Pedro. Shouldn't be a
Yeah.
exorbitant amount of
Carla
extra
even
time.
haven't worked yet, or keeper haven't worked yet. No shots from the United team,
Yeah, she
And-
did the rehearsal.
and hopefully it stays like that. We don't want any.
Far ball attacking from the left. Sends it over.
Ooh.
Great diving. Stopped by the Gulf Coast keeper.
Even though she got scored 4 times, the Gulf Coast United keeper is very good. She's doing a really good job. One of the goals was unfortunately that she saved it, but the rebound. Oh, and
Another
play.
offside.
One of the other goals was a PK. AJ Mack also had a 1v1 against her, which is harder for the keeper. So it's not being her fault most of the time. The defense is kind of disorganized, and that's why we see most of the balls that we send through are not no offsides, and we're able to get those balls.
Right, to back up just a moment, Ayla Erdikin was the third player who's checked in for Pensacola FC a moment ago. Want to make sure we get her mentioned. She's already gotten her nose into a few things already, looking for her chance to contribute. A couple more substitutions for Gulf Coast United here. Do not have all their players listed on the roster that I have, which is not that big of a deal. But we will get you everyone that we can from both squads. Gulf Coast has it. Ezel runs it over to the right side, but ball goes out to touch.
Our ball.
Pensacola FC will get the throw in. Lindsay Gill throws it over to Descartes, who gives it back to Gill. Gill to Toulson. In years past, that was our main midfielder, was number 16 there, Rainey.
Oh, good ball. Gonna be a kick.
Yes, used to be Rainey Niles, now she's Rainey Tolson.
And thanks guys for who's on the stream right now watching us. But I welcome you guys for the next games to come in up and give your support at the Ashton Brosnaham Park.
That's
We
right.
also have the men's game after that. Supposed to start at 7. We don't know with the delay if it's gonna be at 7. But I also invite you guys to watch the stream if you guys aren't able to come.
Goal kick by Gulf Coast United. Taking their time. By the time you get down 4-0, you really don't want to be in too much of an attacking mode because, your pride kicks in. You do need to get your defense shored up before you do anything else. Katja May has the ball in the midfield. Out to Erdican. Erdican still battling on the right side. Beats one, can't beat the other. Number 12, Kerriganizo for Gulf Coast United kicked that out to stave off that attack. Paget with the throw in for Pensacola. Dirksen makes a move. Ball goes back out. Again, Kerriganizo. Toulson with the ball now. Has Descaret in the middle of the pitch. Sends it right to her. Descaret has a go from 20 yards out, but a little too much. Would have been a great NFL field goal from that distance. But not quite what we're looking for in soccer. Still, having a go, nothing wrong with that. If you're going to score from that far, you have to put some power on it anyway. You have to have some pace on it.
Sometimes you gotta try. Sometimes you're gonna go in. It's gonna be a banger. If not, it's just gonna be like that. And there's no problem because now with the score being like that, we can try as many times as we want, but not to let them score too. So.
And even if your shot goes wide, high, or indifferent, it's still keeping the pressure on the opponent. They're not getting a whole lot of mental or physical break. Guzman Ortiz
It's our first touch on the ball.
gives it to Roxy Fowler. Lebovic to Dirksen. UWF to UWF connection. Dirksen on that right side. Takes it past Ezel. Into the middle looking for Erdican. Erdican to Toulson. Gets in the tall grass there. Now here's an attempt at a run, but it's 1v4.
And
For Gulf Coast United, not much of an opportunity when you have that much navy blue between you and the keeper.
And I don't know the function in English is called pivot in Portuguese, but like just happened right now, or attackers get the ball like with their
Erdican looking, but
with
actually the first corner kick of the match for Pensacola.
Like I was saying, or attackers get the ball with their back facing the goal, and they're able to fight and being able to turn or give the ball back. Seeing that their defenders not able to fight against our attackers, which is very good for us. We were able to score 2 goals like that with our attackers, being able to turn on the defenders and send good balls for all other attackers to score.
Bela Lebovic sets up for the corner. As Pedro mentioned earlier, an assistant coach at UWF. Great academic grasp of the game. She's got her players where she wants them. She sends it in.
Oh.
She's very good at those through balls. She scored like a free kick at I think at their first or second game of the season. I've played with her a little Correc tournaments, and she sends really good through balls, which is something that the Pensacola have used advantage of this season already.
Dirksen just took the ball right away from Gulf Coast United. Out to Gill. Gill to Farball. Farball with a great opportunity. Sends it across. Flashed it right in front of the keeper. Beat the keeper, but couldn't quite get the lower right post. So it's going to be a goal kick as we hit the waning moments of the first half.
She made the right decision of taking that ball away from the keeper, but it was a little bit too much, unfortunately.
What I always like to see is when your attackers at least put it in a dangerous position. Make the player make make the player make a play. Now, that's something that sounds really deep, but it's not at all. It's kind of like score more points than the other team. That's the kind of analysis you just don't get everywhere else. I need to pay attention to my one job besides telling you what's going on is to make sure this clock doesn't go north of 45.
Oh, no, sorry, I followed you on that one too.
We're fine. Gill sends it over, winds back up with Bella Lebovic. Bella's getting ready to try one of those through balls. She had a look, decided against it. Instead gets to Paget. Paget still dribbling. As we reach stoppage time here. Ball goes out to a throw in. Descaret has it. She throws it to Lebovic. Lebovic will have plenty of time. Virtually no pressure.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a
on that
lot of
empty
extra
pitch.
minutes. Wait, there was just stops for substitutions, but there shouldn't be a lot of times, like probably 2 to 3 minutes.
That's what I'm
extra time.
thinking as well. Should be brief. Lebovic again has it. Has a look up pitch. Was looking for Toulson. Ball drifted a little to the left, or rather the right, depending on which direction you're going on the pitch. And now Carly Blake of Gulf Coast United has it. She gives it to Biaccamato, but that goes off her foot to another throw in for Pensacola FC. And here comes Farball. Had that great opportunity about 2 minutes ago. She has another one now. That time the keeper was ready and drifted a little bit off her line. And with that save, we reach halftime. I'll see if I can make an announcement to the audience that is gathered currently as well.
It was a good half by the Pelicans. We were able to show them that if they drag their lines back, we're going to pressure, and find
And
through
with
balls.
that, fans, we've
score
reached the end of the
goals.
first half. We apologize for not having house audio. We were having some software updating issues during the first half, and thanks to our friends, the officials, for realizing that and getting the match started without us. Stick around for the second half. The match is currently Pensacola 4, Gulf Coast United 0. While we have a break, fans, don't forget to wander down to the Pensacola FC merchandise stand and concession stand. Get the latest cool-looking shirts and other ephemera, or treat yourself to something hot or cold in our concession stand. We'll be back with some great second half action shortly. Thanks again for coming out.
All right, guys, we're going to be back for our second half. Stay tuned. mic'd.
Ready? All right, fans, welcome back. Second half action shortly to get underway here. Pensacola FC is back on the pitch. Now Gulf Coast United doing the same. Willie Tubbs out here for your play-by-play. Hodgepodge play-by-play and commentary along with Pedro. Pedro?
Hi, how you guys doing? Let's get tuned for the second half. Let's hope it's as good as the first half.
Pedro has not gone to the College of Neutrality and play-by-play. This is definitely a Homer broadcast.
Yeah.
But we're friendly about it. We're not mean to the other team. We're just
No.
very much in favor of our own. Turn the music off. And now we're underway. A little behind the scenes inside soccer production for you fans. I'm running the scoreboard and the music, and I almost forgot to mute the music. It's been a really upscale, upbeat second half.
Here in the press golf, we're doing everything. We're doing broadcasting. We're doing camera. That's why I forgot to turn off the thing. I'm sorry, guys, who's watching the game.
Might start doing everyone's taxes next. We're just ready. All right, here we are. Number 18, Delaney Daly has the ball. Gives to Bella Lebovic. Possession early in the second half is to Pensacola FC.
We saw Delaney in the first half playing as a left back. I don't know what her original position is, but now she's playing at right back. At least she's very solid. First half she played really good. She was very comfortable with the ball. She wasn't scared, trying to release as soon as possible. So having her, even though it's the opposite side, is a good thing.
Ball's out to touch to Gulf Coast United here. Early going in the second half, just the 46th minute. If you missed the first half action, it was all Pensacola. 4 goals scored, 2 by A.J. Mayock. Basically, from the first 10 minutes on, it was all Pensacola, almost all possession. Clinical offense being run. Gulf Coast United has the ball. Apologize, I don't have number 19's name on my roster. Or number 20 for that matter.
Number 19. I also don't have it here.
Anyone north of 17, sadly I do not have. I apologize for that, folks. If you're joining us from Gulf Coast United, we are thankful that you're here. Gulf Coast United shows a lot of fight. Even when they fell down 2-0 in the first 10 minutes, it's tough to overcome, but they did settle in and start possessing with a bit more purpose. Just hard to get meaningful opportunities when you're having to commit so much manpower to defense.
Yes.
Lebovic with the ball, out to Daly.
And also by having a goal score in the first 5 minutes and the second goal by the 10th minute, the mindset plays a lot in that. So we maybe could see something better from the United team, but the mindset after those 2 goals kind of dropped the team's quality down, unfortunately.
Erdigan had it. She gives it out to Faribaugh. Faribaugh looking for an opportunity. Sent it in, but ricocheted back out. Still has it. There's Toulson. Toulson dribbles through 3 defenders. Ball finally sent out by Gulf Coast United. It went off of I'm not sure how. It must have went off of Toulson's cleat. Throw into Gulf Coast United. You can tell Gulf Coast is content to play a deliberate style here in the second half. They are not pressing the issue. Whistle blows, no signal. So it must have been a foul or a handball one. Lebovic to Descartes. Field general for the Pelicans sends it down to Faribaugh. Faribaugh in the middle to Dirksen. Didn't quite make connection with Dirksen. But Daly comes shoved in the back, but nothing going.
The ball rolled.
And there's a goal. Katya May. It is now 5-0. Second half, just within the first 5 minutes, another goal, Pedro. This is getting to be a habit as we reach the 47th combined goal of the season for the Pelicans compared to just one goal allowed.
And we came with an expectations of a lot of goals from this team, and they delivering. 6 games, they score 42 goals, and in the 7th game, they score another 5.
Yeah.
If they score 2 more, it's gonna be 7 games.
Seven average.
Games average.
Yeah. North of 6 goals a match average, I think you can usually win a lot of games that way. Dirksen from Toulson.
Ooh,
and she sends it in. Another goal.
And
6-0.
that's a nice finish by Heine. That's a nice finish by our player, Emily Dorksen.
Emily Dorksen with her nice boot. Another former Argo. She's still an Argo. She's still at the university. I see her walking around every once in a while.
Yeah, she played the intramural. She's not playing for the official university team, but she played the intramural, and she beat me and Bella at the Correc final, unfortunately.
That's when you know that's where the competition really boils over is intramurals.
Yes.
Second only to church league softball in anger expressed by people who would be friends otherwise.
And this 6th goal, you could see another true ball. I told you those true balls were very dangerous to the Gulf Coast United, and again, we were able to show them that they shouldn't leave us space to give those true balls and have our attackers 1v1 against the keeper.
Guzman Ortiz gathers the ball, sends it out. There's Daly with it at her foot. Lebovic again. Sends it to Descartes. Descartes with a quick exchange to Dirksen, who gives it to Toulson. Toulson is looking for Erdogan.
Another true ball, and that should be a
That's
red card. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's going to give you a red card because the game is already 6-0.
It's going to be yellow.
But that was last man, and it was a goal content. So it should have been a red card, but I think the ref's not trying to make this game more.
So now, here's our chance for you to teach our fans something at home that they don't know. What is a professional foul?
A professional foul. So the professional foul is basically when you know the play from the opposite team is gonna be dangerous, and you basically foul them, and to have your team for the game to stop and have your team back and organized. So that's a professional foul. That in fact is not a professional foul because that's actually a professional foul, but it should have been a red card because she was the last man.
It's not a professional foul, but yet it is.
So yeah, it was
with the free kick that goes off the wall.
It was a goal content for sure, but that should have been a red card. But I don't know. I don't think the refs trying to have the opposite team with a negative player right now.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's one of those fouls that you kind of understand why a person would do it
But usually the professional fouls are over there with right now. They try to wins the counter attack. They try to give the this professional foul as soon as possible, so the opposite team doesn't have the chance to have a good counter attack, and you have your team organized again.
Kylie Crosland, the new keeper for Gulf Coast United, I get the sense that was probably just a scheduled first half, second half switch because the original keeper did a masterful job against just a hail of attacks from Pensacola. But Crosland makes a save on her first attempt. There's Gill to Descartes. Descartes looking for Fireball. Ball out to touch. Possession to Gulf Coast United.
And you could see, even with all those changes the Coach Castleman made, the team's still playing good. They're still doing what they started doing. So you can see the team's well-trained.
So true. Ball goes out, another throw in to Pensacola FC. The 6-0 advantage here. Still another 35 minutes to go in the match.
Ooh, Bella.
Result-wise, it's pretty well in hand for
Good job.
Pensacola FC, although that's not a good way to go. Lost that ball deep in your own zone, but Guzman Ortiz was there to cover. Erdogan with the ball, gives it to Daly. Daly can't quite get her boot on it. Winds back up. Levens sends it over to Salter for Gulf Coast United, but Salter loses it to Gill. Gill up the pitch to Faribault. Faribault gives it to Dorkson. Dorkson tried to have another powerful go. There's Katya May, sends it. But Crosland from Gulf Coast United is able to stop. We've got an injured player. Looks like a cramp of the hamstring variety. I don't need to be a doctor because here's a fun fact about your professor. I've got two of my students here with me. I have always had hamstring and calf cramps since I was a little boy, so I know exactly what happens and how a person reacts.
It's not fun.
No.
It's not fun.
No, they're miserable. No, there are worse things to be afflicted with, don't get me wrong. But
Especially in this hot weather, she's running a lot because she's having a tough time as the Pensacola FC attackers are non-stopping running. So you should make sure to stay hydrated. If no, those cramps are going to come off very commonly and usually.
so the injured player was given the international sign for my hamstring is cramped up by pointing at it and begging someone to stretch it back the other direction, which is what I do. Well, we've got a little break. I want to welcome in Jada Lett, another member of our production staff, who is helping us to get everything brought to you today. Can't do this without the people on mic and off mic. Usually I'm off mic, which is probably where the fans would rather me be.
Me too.
But I kid. But today, substitute play-by-play guy on the clock. It looks like the injured player is okay. The cramps are lessening anyway. It's Chloe Ezell's played a really good game for Gulf Coast United. She's been their offensive governor in terms of the attack. She's their midfielder. She was deep on defense at that moment. Seeing her up and down the pitch. As you said, Pedro, when you get out in the heat like this and that lactic acid starts building up and the hydration goes down, that's just begging for a cramping situation.
Not the ideal to change someone that is playing good, but if an injury like that comes out, it's better to preserve your player than injure even more.
And Gulf Coast United has an entire season. They still want to play.
Yes.
Down 6-0. There's no need to play hero ball here. Take a break, stretch, hydrate, relax. Blake, big boot down the side, but Gill is on it for Pensacola FC, still battling on that right side against Gulf Coast United's striker, number 22. Ball out to touch. Throw in to Gulf Coast United gives Pensacola an opportunity to set up its defense. Pelicans have spent precious little time with their backs against the wall or even anywhere near their own goal. So this will be a good exercise for them. Descartes stands between the path of the ball where it wants to go. Header didn't quite go the angle that the Gulf Coast player wanted. It goes out for a goal kick to Guzman Ortiz. Was not challenged really at all in the first half. I think made one save, although it was not a. It was a pretty pedestrian save. Just had to wait for the ball to get to her, but it's done a wonderful job of helping Pensacola set up its attack from building from the back, as they say.
Not only the only job of the keeper is saving balls or anything like that, but also to organize its defense. She's the one that sees everything, so she's probably there yelling at their defense line to organize them and not let any through balls go through.
That's right. I've seen her pointing and gesturing to have people go where they want, where she wants them, and that's the job of a keeper. It's Katya May who had one of the second half goals, the first of the two second half goals, thus far scored by Pensacola, 6-0. 60-minute mark. So another half hour to go. Tanya May down there. There's Dorkson and May, but that's Toulson. Sends one. Goal
What a goal.
from Rainey Toulson, longtime member of Pensacola FC. Fans who have tuned in for years might think she looks a lot like Rainey Niles. And that's because it is Rainey Niles, but she's since become married. And she's Rainey Toulson.
And he was,
Delta State soccer player.
and again, you see a perfect through ball by Bella to get to our number 34, which is Katja
Katja
May. Unfortunately, the play didn't go as well, but the ball was left to Rainey Toulson, which gave this perfect goal to our audience right there. And like I said, with these two goals, now we average 7 goals per game, which is not a usual mark for soccer. So whoever's watching soccer for the first time or anything like that, that's not a normal score. Especially not only for Pelicans women's team.
It's like 1994-98 Brazil scores.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish I was born that time.
I was. That's what made me People laugh. The first time the United States hosted the World Cup was 94, or that I was alive to see it hosted.
And Brazil
Dorkson was
played.
an attack.
And Brazil played USA, right? And
Yeah.
they said it was the toughest game of the
One of
the
those
World
two,
Cup.
yeah. Well, it was back in the days of Ronaldo and Rivaldo. That was the big two.
No, 94 was Romario and Bebeto.
Oh, yeah. 98 is what I'm thinking about then.
Yeah, 98 was when we lost to France in the final.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I used to love the 94 and 98 Brazil teams because they were the only soccer team that scored a lot of goals. And as an American, I wasn't used to sports where you don't score really ever. And so that helped me to find the beauty in the game. I've since learned that a low-scoring soccer match isn't the worst thing in the world, and it's exciting.
Yes.
Erdogan with the ball. Sends it to Toulson again. Toulson will have another go. Nope, tried it not to. Now she'll have another go. Nope, she's still dribbling. Picks up the foul. Play on. Called by the referee.
Was ball first.
Ball
Good call by
first,
the
yeah.
ref. And, Carlo
Guzman.
in the good position.
Way out of goal, but sends the ball. That's a handball, an unintentional handball by Katja May. The ball just bounced up and hit her. She didn't do anything.
It was a foul for us
intentional.
first. No,
Oh, no.
I think the ref's kind of.
I think he signaled a handball. He says off of her shoulder. It actually went off of her hand, but regardless, it's a distinction without a difference. It's a handball one way or the other. So Gulf Coast United with an opportunity here. Number 16, Yuri Meager. Sets up. See how far she can put this ball down. Looks like she wants to send it pretty deep, but we're doing a quick substitution. Roxy Fowler, number 17, goes off for Pensacola FC. And coming on is, I believe that's Mayock from the first half. But she has not turned around. If she is Mayock, it is Mayock. She already has 2 goals in hand. Might be looking for a third. Big boot by Meager. But the ball goes out of bounds. Guzman Ortiz waits for another substitution pause. Gulf Coast United will send in, I believe it's going to be Goodman returning to the match. Had some big moments for Gulf Coast United in the first half. Pensacola looks to build from the back again. Lebovic to Toulson. Up the pitch to Farbaugh. Farbaugh, another speedy run down the left side. Fights through the middle. Had to go. Was trying to make the connection with Erdogan. Couldn't quite get her head on it. Ball trickles out just to the right of the keeper and the net. So it'll be a goal kick to Gulf Coast United. Croslin, the keeper for Gulf Coast United, was in a pretty good position to defend had the header been offered, but couldn't quite make the connection for the Pelicans anyway. And now Croslin sets up. Looks like she's going to try the long ball herself. Sends the ball just short of the midfield stripe. It bounces around several players It winds up with Biaka, Biakamono, Biakamano, excuse me. Now here's Erdogan with another opportunity. Sends it. Great stop by Crosland. Mayock has a go. Couldn't quite get that one to sit down like she wanted it to. It's hard to kick a ball into the air and make it go exactly where you want it. Another goal kick for Gulf Coast United.
And the guys you see behind there are the team from Tallahassee that is going to play against the men's senior Pensacola FC for the A50 Cup tonight. So if you guys want, come by and stick to the live to watch the men's senior game. Or if you guys can, come by the Ashton Brosnaham Park and watch live.
Yes, rivalry night for the men. Tallahassee
FC, right?
SC. They're a soccer club. They are fully Americanized. They actually historically for the young folks in the booth, the men used to play in a different league up until last season, and then Tallahassee and Pensacola FC changed leagues together, so their rivalry goes way back.
And that's why it's gonna be the A50 Cup, which is gonna whoever wins today's game is gonna take the trophy. First game, which it counts for the match today, was a tie. If I believe it was right, it was
0-0, 1-1, and today's gonna decide whoever takes the trophy home.
Should be an exciting night of soccer.
Just had a lot of yellow cards.
A little birdie has whispered there might be some rough play.
and yellow
We
cards.
don't
Always
want
rough
that.
play
Yeah.
when these two teams come together. That's what makes it good, though. Excited.
Let's hope our
Erdogan.
Men's team can do as good as the women's team right now.
Crosland dives in between her own player and Erdogan to keep that ball from going in. Still about 25 minutes left in regulation, 24 minutes rather left in regulation. No real stoppage time of which to speak, although when you're 7-0, I don't think the referee is going to be that diligent. Far ball,
We'll
tried
try
to
there
chase
to
that
get
one
the ball.
down. Wasn't quite able to get it. Substitution time for Pensacola. We'll see who Erdogan is going to jog off.
Yes, our number 9.
And we'll see who jogs on. I believe that's Faith Johnston, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's Faith Johnson.
There we go. Look at me. I'm starting to learn people by face. The non-UWF people. The UWF ones, I've got them. They can't hide. It's Carly Blake for Gulf Coast United sends it up. Mayock now has it. Space to run. She sends it out to Daly. Daly with wide open space.
Go.
Good tackle by number 18 for Gulf Coast United to prevent that from becoming an 8th goal. Dorkson had it. Gulf Coast United gets the ball. Lindsay Gill again sends it down, but that's something I don't see her. Must be an injured player. Okay. I didn't. Yeah. Delaney Daly on that tackle a few moments ago has not yet gotten up. Now she is getting up. She just needs somebody to help her.
Oh, unfortunately, she's gonna have to sub out.
Yeah.
Good game by her.
Good sportsmanship by Gulf Coast United, seeing the injured player and just kicking the ball out of bounds. Don't always see that anymore. That used to be like the going rate of soccer. And then you just give it right back.
Delaney Daly, she's not one of the attackers what many people can see through the score, but even though she didn't score, she was able to control the ball whenever she had the ball. She was patient and gave the right passes whenever she could.
Yeah.
And many people in soccer, especially when they see the score, they don't watch the game. They think only those players that score or like the attacker ones or the star players did good, but they don't see the soldiers. It's something that we call in soccer too.
Yeah.
For those players that play for the other ones, for them to make the big plays. And Delaney Daly was one of those today.
Always those people in every team sport whose names don't necessarily jump off the page on the stat sheet, but you can't
Yes.
win without them. Mayock finds Johnston. Johnston with another big move.
Oh, unfortunately.
Put some bend on that one, trying to hit the near lower post, but it curled a little bit too far to the right.
Cooling
And
break.
we've reached the second half hydration break. I'll announce that to the stadium. Fans, that whistle brings us to our second half hydration break. And as you mentioned in the first half, Pedro, this is a chance, although I don't know if either team really needs to make it, but they could if they wanted to
Yeah, if you
update
see.
their tactics and also drink water at the same time.
Yeah, like you see the assistant coach right there for Pensacola have the little board in his hands. He's probably gonna give instructions to some of the players. We see the defensive line is close to him, so he's probably gonna tell them to close a little more. They had a little more chances. United, they got closer to the goal, and not necessarily had gave dangers to Carla Guzman, but still they had a little more opportunities. If both teams are already tired at this point, but we can still see some good movementations by the Pensacola FC.
And Pensacola FC, when you're up by this many goals with 20 minutes to play, it's normal and honestly kind of sporting not to put too much pressure on the team. I won't say their name, but whenever I worked at Louisiana College, I will say that name. We had a pretty rough go for several years at men's and women's soccer, and we played a team that would beat everybody. They would get up like 12-0 on you, and then they'd start like just kicking the ball back down the pitch and basically playing with them, playing against themselves because they could score as many as they wanted. And I always thought that was kind
And
of
we
neat.
see UWF coaches right there, close to their benches right there.
Bartlinski passing behind. He is probably going to hang out somewhere. He's got his chair.
Sometimes he watches the games here to
Yeah.
the next side of the press box. Today he's there watching some of his players play.
With how he hasn't gotten a contract from Polar Pop yet, I don't know. He needs to have a spot. The NIL for a coach. If Circle K is listening, this man has put Polar Pop on the map
He did.
in front of thousands upon thousands of soccer fans. Invite everyone out when the season begins to come to, if you're in the Pensacola area, come out, check out University of West Florida men's and women's soccer. Numerous players from the men's and women's senior team here at Pensacola FC are also UWF athletes and accomplished there as they are here. Big season upcoming for all sports at UWF as we make the transition. I say we, I work there, and the faculty athletics are up there, so I'm allowed to say we are making the transition, have made now the transition from Division II to Provisional Division I. So a 3-year process before we become fully Division I, but we will play a Division I schedule in all sports next year as members of the ASUN Conference and everything but football. The football team plays in the United Athletic Conference, which is part of the ASUN United Athletic Conference Pact. So it's a very interesting setup of two conferences that are distinct but also together.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for the women's UWF soccer team. Last year we had a great run. Unfortunately, we lost to the Florida Tech, which became NCAA Division II champions of women's soccer. And it was a tough game. We lost by just 1 goal, which was unfortunate. But I'm excited to see what coach is going to do for next year. And he's definitely came here to watch some of his players play today and have ideas for next season.
All right, there's number 7, Avery Salter, with the ball for Gulf Coast, but she loses it to Descartes, or rather Descartes takes it.
Oh, that's not a good pass, but it's a good.
Not enough pace on that one. Great shot by number 20. Good follow-up by 18 by Gulf Coast United. Don't have either of those young people's names.
First good chance by Gulf Coast United. A good defense by Carla. Unfortunately, the ball rebounded, but number 18 of Gulf Coast wasn't able to score. It went a little bit over the goal.
Something that fans have been watching and might have, the haters out there might have been wondering, is this keeper for Pensacola any good, or he just hangs out? But as you saw, that wonderful diving stop on a meaningful attempt from United will show you that Carl's not out there just to direct traffic. She is really good
Our keeper
when
from
called upon.
Puerto Rico has its good times for sure.
Pensacola has the ball. Tolson to Bella Lebovic, one of our two Lebovics. White brings the ball up pitch. Johnston, double teamed, loses the ball to one of the two. Bella back in.
Good effort by number 6 of
Chloe Ezel, who had left with that hamstring cramp
hamstring.
earlier, is back in. So no lasting damage there. Good to see that for Gulf Coast's player. Mayock now sends it.
And even though our Pensacola FC players are tired, we see that Gulf Coast our defense is more organized. The defenders, the CDMs are coming down more, dropping more their lines to help them with the defense and not letting those through balls go again.
That's right. Mayock's had a great game. That's her 5th, I think, shot that had a meaningful opportunity. 2 have found the back of the net.
And now
That's what you
Mela
call-
Jacobs back on game.
That's right. And last one by Mayock's what you'd call in hockey a one-timer. It's only going to go in once in a while, but when it goes in, it makes you a legend. So, ball out to touch, throw in for Gulf Coast United.
And I can't lie, scoring a goal like this,
Excuse
the
me.
feeling of scoring a goal like this is unique.
Yes.
You just feel like you're the best player playing the game.
You're just
by far.
the ultimate. Jacobs with the ball on the throw in. I misinformed the audience. That was a throw in to touch to Pensacola, not Gulf Coast, although Gulf Coast has the ball now. Lebovic with a header. Gets it. Sends it right down the middle, looking for Jacobs. Doesn't quite make the contact, but she gets it on the rebound. Jacobs to Johnston. Johnston sends it, but a stop by Crosland. Johnston still has it. They're not out of danger. Big boot from Johnston. That one doesn't quite. It wasn't as high as it looks on screen. It just missed the
She wants one more.
missed the post by about 3 inches, and then it just kept skying upward. So Johnston and Mayock both are interested in getting some extra goals here.
I don't think we have enough.
7-0, which if you're just joining us, is the precise average. 49 goals in 7 matches. That's I'm from Irwinville, Louisiana, but even I know that averages out to 7. So 7 goals a game average for the Pelicans, senior women, who, not surprisingly, are undefeated, although they do, and there's a goal.
Oh, what a shot.
It's only the second allowed goal of the season by the Pelicans.
Which
Good
was a
job.
banger. It's that type of goal that you really don't expect. It's not really much fault the keeper, and the ball went exactly where it should have been.
Yeah, that
If
low
it
and away.
If it was a centimeter to the left, they wouldn't. Carla would have got that ball, but that ball was perfect. Yeah, sometimes when you don't have options, you gotta try the shot, and sometimes they go in, like it just
There you
did
go.
right now.
What's interesting, fans, is we talk about this 7 goals per match averages. That's not even hidden within those stats is the fact that the Pensacola senior team tied 0-0 against the academy team in one of their 2 matches this season. So there was a game where we didn't score a goal at all. So just imagine how many goals are scored and the others to make up for the 0 goals in the one match. Ball goes out to touch. Throw in for the Pelicans.
Oh, it's gonna be a
And then
substitution.
if we do some subbing here. About 12 minutes left. Excuse me, about 12 minutes left in regulation.
Our captain Bella Lovic's coming off for. Is that her scissor? No, right? No, for number 14.
Paget. Paget, yeah. Evie Paget in.
And number 19 of Gulf Coast coming off for number 4, if I'm not wrong.
It's going to be Aisha Gale is the new player or the returning player, I should say, for Gulf Coast United as we prepare to finalize this match. Dorkson gets the ball, has some room to work, has White. Nothing doing
Good
there.
effort by Faith Johnson to keep that ball alive.
Mayock with a big kept that ball in bounds, gets it to Dorkson. Dorkson tries to send it to the middle, but Gale sends it out the back line for a corner.
And surprisingly, that's the first corner for Pensacola FC.
That's corner kick brought to you, as always, by the Kelly Group at Morgan Stanley. It's the first time I've been able to say that.
First corner for Pensacola FC, even though we scored this many goals.
Second, they had one corner in the first half that
We
Bella
did?
took, yeah. But it didn't. It ended quickly with a foul. It's the first one I've been able to announce over the house microphone. So here's Descartes. Wonderful control of the ball, so that'd be one of my picks on this team. One of several I would trust to take a corner.
Ooh.
Oh, send it to Johnson. Johnson tried a little fancy trick with it.
Paneca right there.
Didn't quite get it, but that's okay. Descartes back. Sends it in the middle again, looking for Mayock. It went over her head. Toulson has it out to White. White controls back to Descartes. Descartes looking for Dorkson. Has her on the outside, right side. Dorkson attacking, ball out for
Pensacola FC corner.
another corner kick. That's another corner kick brought to you by the Kelly Group at Morgan Stanley. I think we're going to have another quick substitution here. 2 coming on for Gulf Coast United before we get that corner kick brought to you by the Kelly Group at Morgan Stanley. Ezel trots off along with number 18. And we get 2 new players in for Gulf Coast. Number 22, again, sorry I don't have your name. Players from Gulf Coast, I have many of your names, but not all. And number 10, Smiley Levens, I do have your name. Descartes for the kick. Has Dorkson and Johnston both had a go. Neither could quite get the ball collected. But Pensacola still has it. Descartes got it from Johnston. Sends it back in the middle, looking for number 24. That's Zavana Lebovic. Couldn't quite make it happen. And that's a goal kick for Gulf Coast United. 8 minutes of regulation left in the 7-1 match. And again, probably not too much stoppage time owing to the fact there hasn't been much stoppage time, and also with a 6-goal, currently a 6-goal advantage, most referees aren't going to
Probably going to give
draw
it 3
it out.
minutes for the hamstring.
Yeah.
Then their number 6 had.
And the hydration break and that.
Still, I don't think he's going to push the girls in this hot weather to like a 5 to 6 minutes
Right.
extra time.
We were talking at the break. Pedro was asking me how long I'd been coming to Pensacola FC matches. It's been quite a few years now. When I was still just a fan who had some students working out here years ago, we came to a match one night where it just wouldn't end. The referee, it was a 3-goal advantage.
Sometimes I feel like
Where-
that all the time.
Oh, my word. There was a
good
high
try.
one again by Mayock, trying to get that
Hat trick.
hat trick to the high upper left-hand corner.
It was a
Didn't
good
quite
shot.
find it.
a
No, it was
good
an
shot,
outstanding
wasn't it?
shot. Again, when you see it on TV, it looks like, oh, they missed it by a mile, but it's an optical illusion. It's actually really close to the bar. It's just going up. So when it gets past it, it really goes high.
That's why you guys got to come live. and
That's
watch
right.
it.
Go stand there on the goal line, and you'll see how close those goals are to being goals. Erdogan back in for Dorkson. But I remember that night because I sat down here in Ashton Brosnaham Field, just a few feet over from where I'm sitting right now, and heard teenagers and college people begging the referee, just end the game. We don't care. We're losing. We have to work tomorrow. It was like 20 minutes of stoppage time. Like, is this guy for real? It got to be north of 100 minutes. 115 or so before they finally called it.
There are just some refs out there that just want to show off and be the main characters
Like,
of the
I
game.
am going to. They're accountants. They don't want to cheat anybody of 1 single second. Crosland sets up for the goal kick. We've had some matches here last season where I thought there'd be 6 or 7 minutes. They'd call it that and it'd be over in 3. So, you get it both ways. There's the kick.
At least it didn't rain since the game
No,
started.
It's been nice. Here's Mayock with the ball again.
He was able to.
Was looking for Lebovic, couldn't quite make the contact. Kerrigan Ezel, one of two Ezels play for Gulf Coast United, has the ball, sends it down. That goes out
Corner kick
for a corner kick for Gulf Coast United. Another opportunity. I think that might be their third corner of the match. So 3 corners apiece. Neither team has yet made any real hay with their corner kicks or set pieces, except for a PK by Pensacola in the first half, which I wouldn't really call that a set piece. It's PK. We'll see what goes here.
Yeah, Pensacola FC has some tall and strong players, which is hard to get scored by in corner kicks like that or fouls.
Ball sent in by the goal scorer for Gulf Coast United. The ball goes right back out for a second attempt. Another goal kick. Corner kick. Brought to you as always by the Kelly Group, Morgan Stanley. You tune into these broadcasts, you're going to know about the Kelly Group at Morgan Stanley.
We want to shout out
We
to
appreciate
Justin
them.
one
There's
more
another
time.
opportunity. That was a handball by somebody, and the referee spotted it. And it was a handball by the opposition.
Shout out.
Brosnaham Ortiz will take a little bit of time here. No need to press the issue. 85 minutes gone by. Erdogan beaten to the spot by Gale, but Gale just kicked the ball. Toe poked it out of bounds to stop the press. Ball remains with Pensacola.
Billy Jacobs with the ball, trying to find someone to pass the ball.
There's Mayock again. Mayock over to Lebovic. Lebovic has a go. But number 2, Blake, stepped in the path of that shot. Ball sent deep down the field by Gulf Coast United. Descartes watches it go out for a throw-in.
And that's the difference from the first half to the second half. First half, we were finding those balls and quickly sending the through balls for our attackers to be one-on-one against the keepers. But now Gulf Coast is way more organized, giving less space for us to send those through balls.
Throw in for Pensacola FC, who will improve to 6-0-1. Can technically in second place in division right now, but that's a little misleading because the team ahead has been defeated by Pensacola FC and just has more points by virtue of having played more games that weren't rained out yet. So several games in hand for Pensacola FC, so it's mathematically much more in kind of a soft first place. Gulf Coast United will fall to 3-6-2 on the season. Still showing lots of fight for this Gulf Coast United team. Much respect for them. They don't give up. Taking their opportunity to continue to grow and develop as players, which is the point of these leagues. This summer leagues are meant primarily as a growth and development opportunity for high-end college and high school players. It's an offside. Gulf Coast is starting to really slow down on the back end there. It is hot out there. I don't blame them. I'd have tapped out a long time ago.
So I want to thank to our little Pensacola kids fans, which are helping us with being ball boys today. Ball boys. That's called ball boys.
Ball boys.
Ball boys. So we want to shout out to them too for helping us.
Lebovic with some pressure. She has a go to one-timer. Tries to find the bottom left post, but misses it by about 6 inches there.
Could have passed that ball to Faith Johnson, which was open, but she wanted to try herself and take a goal home too.
There we go. One of my 2 sons, I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. The 7-year-old is always asked, does he want to be a ball boy? And he always says no. It's a pressure moment. He doesn't want to do it. Crosland, Gulf Coast United. And a pretty good half for her, the keeper. The kick, it winds up with
Good ball,
Jacobs to Erdogan. That could be, oh my word. And I believe Crosland and Erdogan collided and it jammed Erdekin's knee, and I think Crosland got a cleat in the chest.
Good ball by Jacobus, but also good.
Better the chest than the head. We're glad that could have been. She's waving off the trainer, so she says she's fine, and we're happy for that. That was a gnarly collision.
Now we're a minute from 30 seconds actually from a 45-minute reach.
Jacob's still navigating through numerous, wove through 3 different players there. Erdekin has another go, sends it high over the top. That one missed by a bit. Crosland didn't have to make it much of an effort. Another shot, though, for Pensacola. Not tracking, but I would say well over 20 shots on the match for the Pelicans today, 7 of which found their way home. And we've reached stoppage time.
See,
Probably around those 2 to 3 minutes extra time, just like the first half.
I think
it's
you're
not
right.
Push the girls a little too much.
Here comes the kick from Crosland. Nice relay of the midfielder. I believe that was Levens. It was Levens for Gulf Coast United.
That's gonna be for
Pensacola back on the attack. Mayock still has it. Sends it into the middle. Header from, I think that was Lebovic having a go. Missed to the left on that header. Crosland.
Yeah, like I said previous, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be a men's senior game after that for Pensacola FC. If you guys can stay and watch the live, that would be awesome. If you guys can come live, that would be awesome too. And next women's senior team game is going to be at the Thursday 25th. If you guys want to either watch the live or
And we've reached full time with
come
final
to
score. Pensacola FC
Ashton
7.
Brosnaham Park and watch
Gulf
live.
Coast United
Inspire your
1. Fans,
Pelicans.
thanks so much for coming out for the first half of this doubleheader. Stick around. We got a 7 p.m. start. Rivalry night continues. Pensacola FC versus Tallahassee. Men's senior action. 7 p.m. Hang tight. In the meantime, concession stands, merch stand, remain open. Wander down. Treat yourself to something. Thanks again for coming out. If you're only staying for the women's game, we appreciate you being here. And travel safely.
Yes.
Are we still live on the air? We don't.
Yes. Thanks so much, you guys, again.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys next game.
Yeah, about another 45 minutes. Maybe before we go, before we mute our mics, if you are sticking around for the men's game, be prepared for perhaps a little delay because of the earlier rain delay. It might have thrown off preparation time. But we promise we're playing. So we'll see you guys in the next half hour to an hour. For Pedro, this is Willie Tubbs signing off.
All right.
Pensacola
Have a good
FC,
day,
Senior
guys.
Women's Action. 7-1.